Welcome to Story Kids!
Welcome to our cozy Storytime channel. Let's start our magical bedtime story. Are you ready for an adventure?
Deep in the heart of a lush green valley nestled between rolling hills and a sparkling lake lay a charming cottage. It was a picture of tranquility with its thatched roof, climbing roses, and windows that seemed to twinkle like the stars above. The air around it buzzed with the gentle murmur of nature, a lullaby sung by the wind as it caressed the leaves of ancient oak trees that stood as silent sentinels around the cottage. It was here in this idyllic setting that an elderly woman named Ellie had lived a solitary life for many years. Her days were spent in tending to her herb garden, baking bread, and watching the seasons change, painting the landscape outside her window in hues of emerald, gold, and crimson. The cottage, with its thick stone walls, had been her sanctuary, sheltering her from the storms of life and the chill winds of solitude. One day, however, a young woman named Lyra stumbled upon the cottage. She was a writer seeking solace from the noise and chaos of the city. As she walked up to the cottage, she noticed a small sign hanging by the door. It read, "Beware of dog." But when she knocked, the only response was the rustling of leaves in the wind. Curious and a little apprehensive, she knocked again. And when there was still no answer, she turned the handle and stepped inside. The interior of the cottage was just as enchanting as its exterior. The walls were adorned with paintings of local flora and fauna, and the scent of lavender and chamomile hung in the air, hinting at the magic that lay within those four walls. As Lyra explored further, she came across a comfortable sitting area with a worn but inviting armchair and a table piled high with books and half-finished manuscripts. Just then, a small brown dog emerged from behind a curtain, his tail wagging tentatively. He was old, like Ellie, with eyes that twinkled with wisdom and a bark that was more of a gentle cough. He trotted over to Lyra, sniffing her hand before settling down at her feet, as if he had been expecting her all along. Lyra, feeling a sense of peace she had never known, decided to make the cottage her home for a while. She settled into the armchair, stroking the dog, and began to write. The dog, who she soon learned was called Willow, would occasionally lift his head to gaze out the window, as if keeping watch over the valley. As the days turned into weeks, Lyra found herself growing closer to the cottage and its inhabitants. One evening, as the sun was setting, casting long shadows across the room, she felt an overwhelming sense of connection to this place and the woman who had lived here before her. It was as if the cottage itself was enveloping her in a warm embrace, sharing its secrets and whispering stories of the past. Then one day, while exploring the attic, Lyra came across an old trunk filled with Ellie's belongings. There she found a faded photograph of a young girl with flowing red hair and bright blue eyes, a mirror, self, a reflection of the fiery spirit that had once inhabited the cottage. In that moment, Lyra felt a deep sense of gratitude for the opportunity to have known Ellie, even if only through the echoes of her presence. As the seasons continued their endless dance, painting the valley in vibrant colors, Lyra's story became intertwined with that of the cottage. She wrote and painted, finding inspiration in the whispering wind and the rustling leaves. And when the sun dipped below the horizon, she would sit by the fire, reading or simply enjoying the quiet company of old Willow, who had become her constant companion. And so the tale of the cottage, the elderly woman and the young writer seeking solace echoed through the valley, carried on the wings of the wind to those who believed in the magic of second chances and the healing power of nature. For in this tranquil corner of the world, where the air was sweet with the scent of blooming heather and the sound of birdsong filled the air, they had found a place where hearts could heal and stories could be reborn. The end.
Thank you for watching, little dreamers. We hope you love the story as much as we loved sharing it with you. If you enjoyed the adventure, don't forget to give us a big thumbs up. Subscribe to our channel so you never miss a magical bedtime story. And leave a comment to tell us what your favorite part was. Sweet dreams, and we'll see you next time for another magical tale. Good night.